So today I'm here with Jesse and Eric from East Austin Run Club, and we wanted to talk a little bit about running Cadence and talk to it about an injury prevention standpoint, but also speak to it about how it can help you kind of get over an injury. Jesse has a little bit to share, as does Eric. So Jesse, what's your experience with running Cadence?
Running Cadence, it's a journey. I jumped into it because I was coming off an injury. I'd strained my big toe from running. I ran 7 races last year, 6 leading up to a marathon. By the time I got to the marathon, I realized that my big toe was so strained that I just knew that once I ran the marathon, I was going to have to start all over again. And that starting over looked like running. So I just started running barefoot just at a filter, just to kind of get myself back into being able to run again and just getting the feedback to understand like it's time to start running again. And then coming into the gym, thankfully I have access to a gym, which most run club leaders don't. And I would go as far as putting on 180. I would go to Spotify, find 180 beats per minute playlists and just literally run in place. I started off like running in place with my back against the wall, so I could learn how to like pull up, pull with my muscles properly. And then as the pain, and I could only do it for like 30 seconds at a time at the gym, or I would run around and it was less painful. But I found like running in place, it was just too painful. So with that, and then thankfully again being a run club leader, was getting all these shoes, like all these different shoes, and not having to pay for them, which was great. But finding like varying levels of like cushioning the shoe, and I found like the more cushion it had, the more that I could actually still run. So there was a time where I couldn't run more than 3 miles again. Anything over 3 miles was too painful. So I kept running in place. I started off running in the room back there so clients wouldn't like come and like mess with me, or I would come at a time when no one was here and do it on my own. So I did that for a few weeks until I could get to a point where I could run more than 3 miles. But the point being was like learning the cadence and learning how to keep my feet underneath me I was actually learning how to run faster, but by running slow, by literally starting all over again, learning how to keep my feet underneath me, but learning how to run pain-free. Discomfort's fine because you can breathe and you can work through discomfort, but the minute it went from discomfort to pain, I would stop the running. So that took weeks, about 5 months, so I could actually cap 10K was the first road race of the year. And so, but even then, the goal was just to learn how to run comfortable and not. If I'm not running comfortable, if I'm straining, then we're running too fast, or the injury is still there. Or I haven't done enough to seek out other like help for the.
Totally.
Hope I answered the question.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, cool experience.
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah.
And here we are. So I've got some more races underneath the belt, but I wasn't willing to sign up for races until I knew that I could. But it turned out it wasn't just the toe; it was the ankle. And we have an in-house PT that was getting injury assessments from. So it was this toe, ankle, and it was actually this hip flexor, and this side like QL, and kind of up the chain. So it was just like a whole chain reaction that I needed to continue to get back to it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, and so you also do triathlons, and you found that cadence was important from a triathlete's perspective. Do you want to speak to that?
So he's also a sub-3-hour marathon. If he doesn't mention it.
Oh yeah, and a sub-3-hour marathoner, no big deal.
Yeah, I always naturally had a more fast cadence, and I remember when I was first getting into running, people talking about heel strike, and that was not the most efficient, and also put a little bit more pounding and stuff in your body. So by running with a little bit faster cadence, I actually have less extension in my body, which during triathlon, especially after the bike, you ride for 30, 40, 50 miles, your muscles are extremely exhausted. So being able to run with these shorter steps, and like Jesse said, I don't like the way I look when I run. It's very awkward because it's like it's my head almost doesn't move, and it's just like this sort of pitter patter. But the reduction in the amount of muscle required for my particular running form, it has to do with also how long my legs are and like what particularly works for me. But yeah, so you talked about like 180. Like for cap 10, my cadence was between 188 and 190. So it was like very, very fast.
Yeah.
And I built up to that. It just had to build up to that. But yeah, so I find it's more efficient. It's a little bit less muscle movement. So when you are tired, it kind of helps to keep maintaining that speed. And I actually find it's easier to go from maybe a more tempo speed into a faster speed more quickly. And I also stay more balanced. So yeah, and again, I think it's similar to like, nutrition, where it's, eat avocados and you're going to be healthy. Cadence is like, that's one particular area that, that can be pushed on if that's what you need. But yeah, there's a lot of different types of things, especially you talked about not really being, that you haven't really gotten injured.
I do that.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe what you need to tweak is like very, very small, versus like making some big change. And but yeah, so that's been working for me. And yeah, if you want to look like a cartoon character running, that kind of.
Yeah, like Flynn said.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, with the feet that are back. Yeah,
But
Definitely.
it's that high cadence that allows you to, if you have a high cadence on flat and then you're climbing, keeping that same cadence. When you're descending, the cadence increases a little bit
Yeah.
by virtue of like gravity. But being able to have the high cadence, then you come back on the flat ground, you can just shift back into like your normal cadence.
Absolutely.
Versus
Yeah.
like allowing gravity to like fully take you. You see that a lot on some of these road races, like where people are flying down and you can tell they have no concept of like
Right.
what's about to happen whenever you hit flat ground, because it's like hitting the brakes on the ground, like hitting the brakes in the car, right? But
Right.
usually at first from that transition is like a heel strike.
Yeah.
And then all that momentum they built, it's just like boom, it's kind of crashing down into their joints.
Right.
And now it's flat. So now they're trying to figure out, and you see it all the time, your feet alternating.
Yeah.
It's great because I'm just like, I'll see you later, while they're trying to figure out biomechanically like what just happened,
Yeah.
It's a matter of education. Just someone never coaching them to do that.
Definitely.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And definitely from how you spoke about your head kind of just streamlining through space.
Yeah.
When you increase your cadence, what it does is it shifts your gravity, your center of gravity more underneath you. And so the impact that you're putting on through your system up through the chain is less because you're landing right underneath your center of gravity a little bit more.
Yeah.
Which also allows you to put less impact through all your joints. But, your head doesn't do this oscillating. So your energy expenditure isn't going up and down as much as translating forward,
Exactly.
which when we're running, that's what we want to do. We want to go forward. We don't really want to go up and down, Pepe Le Pew style.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, I think that's a good place to start. And if you're open to it, I'll do one little video, one shot of you doing like some cadence training against the wall.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Well, literally got to do this for 3 minutes at a time. Like I started off doing it like barefoot.
Jesse, talk us through what you're doing here.
So we're 180 beats per minute. So we're basically the point of having my back up against the wall, because it forces me to learn how to pull. In doing so, if I can pull correctly, I'll be able to land correctly, as in land underneath my hips. And so I'll try to over exaggerate it. So I'm pretty close to the wall right now. Let's see, here's the wall. So you'll find that if you don't pull up, like you'll scrape the wall. But it's almost like if I have people squat in front of the wall, if I have people do this, if you get too close, and if their range of motion isn't such, they're gonna just boom, right? It's kind of the same thing if you turn people around. It also teaches you control. If you don't have the proper control, you're gonna scrape. It's almost like you're doing this, but it corrects it right away. I don't know how close I am to the wall.
Like inches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you also find that I can't go any faster, so this would be faster than 180. But this is more in beat with the beat of the song.
Probably bank thing.
So for some people, this is it could just be exhausting. But having people do this for 3 minutes
or for the duration of the song. So now we're just creating that muscle connection, that muscle mind connection, right? So the more reps we do over and over and over again, inevitably, right, the brain will remember it. And you can tell I'm just kind of out of breath doing it. But it's a great exercise to kind of just help reset.
Awesome.
Have people just reset like their cadence.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah.